Hey New York, this is Aszaviyo. Today we're going to be talking about what the MTA should improve on the BMT lines. Anyway, let's get started with the Nassau Street line, the J and Z trains. I think the J line should get the R211s along with the combined mix of 8-car R143s, R160s, and R179s because it shares tracks with the Z line during rush hours and then shares tracks with the M and Z lines in Brooklyn up until Delancey Street, Essex Street in Manhattan. Although it had the 8-car R32s until it retired on the line, and can have a mix of 8-car R143s, R160s, and R179s along with the R211s. I think the Z line should also get the R211s along with the combined mix of 8-car R143s, R160s, and R179s because it shares tracks with the J line during rush hours and shares tracks with the J and M lines in Brooklyn up until Delancey Street, Essex Street in Manhattan. And it also had the 8-car R32s until it retired on the line, and can have a mix of 8-car R143s, R160s, and R179s along with the R211s. Alright, that's it for the Nassau Street line. Now, moving on to the Canarsie Line, the L train. I think the L train doesn't need the R211s because the line is fully mixed R143 and R160 operated and can keep the mix of 8-car R143s and R160s. Alright, that's it for the Canarsie Line. Now, moving on to the Broadway Line, the N, Q, R, and W trains. I think the N line should have the return of the 10-car R160s and replace the mix of R46 and R68s because the R68s ran on the line before the R46 ran on the line in 2020. It shares tracks with the W line in Queens, and it used to share tracks with the Q line in Queens until 2016. And it shares tracks with the D line in Brooklyn until 36th Street. It can have the return of the 10-car R160s. I think the Q line should also have the return of the 10-car R160s and replace the mix of R46 and R68 because the R68s were running on the line before the R46 ran on the line in 2020. It runs local on 2nd Avenue until Lexington Avenue, 63rd Street, and local in Brooklyn running with the B line running express. And it did share tracks with the N line in Queens until 2016. And can have the return of the 10-car R160s. I think the R line should have a mix of R160s and R211s because it shares 10-car R160s with the E and F lines and shares tracks with the M line on Queens Boulevard. And as I said in the other video, the M line is the only line with 8-car R160s on Queens Boulevard, and although the R46 did run on the R line until about April 2020, and it shares tracks with the W line up until Whitehall Street South Ferry. And it can have a mix of R160s and R211s. I think the W line should also have the return of the 10-car R160s and replace the mix of R46 and R68s because the R68s ran on the line after it came back in 2016 before the R46 ran on the line in 2020. It shares tracks with the N line in Queens and shares tracks with the R line to Whitehall Street South Ferry and can have the return of the 10-car R160s. Alright, that's it for the Broadway line. Okay, I'll be back again next week. Stay safe, stay healthy. Aszaviyo signing off.